Ladies and gentlemen, this officer, Air Chief Marshal A.P. Singh, the Indian Air Force Chief, could not be more loud and clear today. For the first time on record, India has now made it very clear that the Indian Air Force successfully shot down 5 Pakistani fighter jets and 1 large surveillance aircraft during Operation Sindoor. A first acknowledgement from a top official on how damage was inflicted on Pakistan's air capabilities in what is now being described as the longest ever recorded surface-to-air kill at a staggering 300 kilometers. Over the next couple of minutes, we're going to take you through some details of the Operation Sindoor that was not known. Not just that, 10 striking images of Operation Sindoor. And we're going to break it down for all those naysayers as to what really did India achieve and whether at all the political class had actually given complete freedom to our forces. All this and much more, but on your screens right now, the first big statement that was made by the Indian Air Force Chief. The Indian Air Force obliterated the Pakistani fighter jets, which includes F-16s and a critical AWACS surveillance aircraft, marking a historic milestone in military aviation. The operation, powered by the game-changing S-400 air defense system, achieved the longest ever recorded surface-to-air kill, silencing those who questioned the forces. The key takeaways from Air Chief Marshal's speech in this next report.
Operation Sindoor, India's biggest military success and Pakistan's worst nightmare. A 23-minute precise military strike executed in response to the Pahalgam massacre. And while terror state Pakistan stands globally exposed, Indian Air Force Chief, Air Chief Marshal A.P. Singh has set the record straight. In a 55-minute speech, he has laid bare the facts of how India hammered Pakistan. And this is what the naysayers must hear.
Fighter aircraft are from S-400. We have at least 5 fighters confirmed kills and 1 large aircraft, which could be either an Lint aircraft or an AEW&amp aircraft, which was taken on at a distance of about 300 kilometers. This is the actually largest ever recorded surface-to-air kill.
His speech isn't just about hailing the operation. It's about recognizing the precise execution of a 23-minute assault on Pakistan's terror dens that dismantled their systems.
Our air defense systems have done a wonderful job. The S-400 system, which we had recently bought, has been a game changer. The range of that system has really kept their aircraft away from their weapons like, those long-range glide bombs that they have. They have not been able to use any one of those because they have not been able to penetrate this system.
The largest ever surface-to-air kill, his statements come as a message to enemies within and outside the nation.
In Balakot, we could not get anything from inside, and it became a big issue, trying to tell our own people, unfortunately our own people, as to what we have been able to achieve. We had intelligence of what has gone on inside. We had intelligence of, a human kind of intelligence, where we had very clear picture of inside in terms of there has been huge damage. There have been so many terrorists which have been utilized, but we could not convince our own people that, look, we have achieved that. So I'm very happy that this time we were able to, take care of that ghost of Balakot, that we were able to tell the world what we have achieved.
The Air Chief Marshal has also highlighted how full operational freedom was given to the forces. And that is how India planned, India executed, and India delivered.
We had also said, it was made very clear that this time it need it should be an emphatic thing that we do. We must send the message across loud and clear to them. It should not be something just limited to launch pads and training areas. It should be, if the leadership, the terrorist leadership should be challenged. So we were all called in, and we discussed a few options, then all the other agencies also joined in, and then we decided on those 9 targets.
Well, picking up some more details on the Indian Air Force's precision strikes that were carried out. In fact, the IF has now confirmed that 5 fighters were eliminated during Operation Sindoor on 7th of May between 1:15 in the morning and 2:15 in the morning, and they were of Chinese origin. Now, as revealed by digital signatures analyzed by both during and after the operation, the strikes, which took place within a 60-minute window, marks a significant and successful identification and neutralization of key targets linked to Chinese forces. In fact, what we can confirm is that there is digital evidence to conclude that the Indian Air Force fighters surface-to-air missile batteries and S-400 defense system down 5 Pakistani Chinese-made fighter jets and 2 large aircraft. Possibly one is a C-130J and one is a Saab 2000 airborne early warning system during Operation Sindoor. Let me now also break down each of these radar systems for you. In fact, these are the radar systems that have been completely destroyed. The Chuniar radar facility is located at the Chunian Air Base in central Punjab of Pakistan and is known to house the YLC-8E anti-stealth radar system, which is a Chinese-supplied system designed to detect stealth aircraft. This radar is part of Pakistan's air defense infrastructure, particularly intended to counter advanced stealth technologies such as those used by modern fighter jets. Now, with the loss of the YLC-8E radar, Pakistan's ability to detect and track also low observable stealth aircraft in that region was severely diminished. On your screens right now, these are images that have been accessed by Republic TV of the burnt area of the radar in Chunian. Let me now take you through the RF-Wala radar installation, which is located in Punjab, Pakistan, which is part of Pakistan's early warning and air defense network, and it's also critical for detecting and tracking aerial threats, which includes aircraft, drones, and missiles. It is designed to detect stealth aircraft and provide situational awareness for Pakistan's air defense operations. And these radars are integrated with Pakistan's broader air defense infrastructure, which also includes Chinese HQ-9 systems and other assets to protect key military and strategic sites. Now, we're going to put out some more details of the HQ-9 in a short while from now, but let me also take you through the third image that we have accessed. That's the Lahore radar installation, which is part of Pakistan's integrated air defense network. Once again, designed to detect, track aircraft, drones, missiles, particularly given its proximity to the Indian border. The radar's strategic location has made it essential for monitoring Indian Air Force activities in the Punjab sector and protecting key military and civilian infrastructure in Lahore. Now, during Operation Sindoor, the IF conducted precision strikes on the Lahore radar system as part of a broader campaign targeting 11 Pakistani air bases and multiple radar installations, which includes those of Arifwala, Pasroor and Chunian. So 3 important images that we have now put out for you. Air Marshal Sanjeev Kapoor is also joining us on this broadcast. Air Marshal, you've always spoken about the contribution of the former Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar as far as the S-400 is concerned, despite the hue and cry that we saw at that point in time in the Indian Parliament. Today, there is a moment of joy. At the same time, I, as have been putting it across, that it is a moment of introspection for this entire country when you have the IAF chief saying that there are few who are not even convinced. And you've had the Air Force chief had to make that statement. How do you really look at all the developments that have taken place through the day?
It's a good evening to you and your viewers. In my opinion, it's a defining day today for 2-3 reasons. One, that the the opposition, especially of our country, asked certain kind of questions which I have not seen globally. Has the Pakistani opposition asked them how many aircraft did they lose? Did the Israeli opposition ask them how many losses did they have in Hamas, Hezbollah, or Iran conflict? Did the Chinese ever come out in the open to say how many troops did they lose in Galwan? The US has lost a large number of MQ-9 drones during this Yemen conflict just before the Iran war. Have they ever come out with any figure? So no country comes out ever of the losses of their own. So this is but moment this conflict got over, we got a resounding victory. But somehow, in my appreciation, we have taken out the Chinese and the Western equipment, mainly the Western equipment. So the Western equipment going down by the Indian manufactured, Indian modified, and Russian equipment has not gone down well with them. So what was the counter narrative? How many aircraft did IAF lose? Now, this part has been picked up. Like the Air Chief said just now, you played it, that the Balakot strike in 2019 had resounding success, but that was shadowed by the clamor in the parliament and on the streets and the protests to say, show us the proof, show us the proof. A few birds had died. Now, this time, the services have been exceptionally careful. Each and every strike which we have done from day one in our briefing, we have been covering. I don't think so anywhere globally the pressure on the forces to prove what they have done lies so much. So, and strategically, the question arises, why were the statements made today by the chief? Now, some say it is the pressure by the Americans, which is pushing Indians close to Putin. Some say President Putin's visit has been confirmed to be happening sometime later this year. It is to be said that the Indian Prime Minister is traveling to China on 31st August for SCO summit after 7 years. And this is the first meeting major meeting after Galwan crisis in China by the two heads. They did meet on the sidelines last year in Russia.
Right.
But strategically, what is happening is tariffs on one side, the pressures on the Indian government to indigenize and come up with their own equipment. And historically, it has been seen that Russia has stood by with us.
Right.
Just see the two weapons which made a difference in this 88-hour conflict off Sindur. One is S-400 and other is BrahMos. Who has given us these two?
Air Marshal Sanjeev Kapoor, I just want you to stay on with us because I'm going to take our viewers through some more images that have been accessed by Republic TV. And what does it really signify? The Indian Air Force successfully targeted critical radar and air bases infrastructure. The Indian Air Force launched a precision strike against the HQ-9 radar unit at Chakala, along with the Chinese LY-80 fire radar and two US-made automatic tracking radars. Also learning that the Indian Air Force fired 19 BrahMos missiles at multiple Pakistani air bases, causing significant damage. Additionally, French-made Scalp cruise missiles were also used during this entire operation. I'm going to take you through some more details right now as we are going to put out images of the before and after of the attack. Some Republic TV we have put out earlier, but these are high-resolution images that were basically used by Air Chief Marshal AP Singh earlier today. In fact, each of it, what you see right now in Bhulari, Pakistani Air Force base, the AWAC hangar that you can see has been damaged. The before and the after images that have come in. In fact, it turns out that the missiles that we have used are the French Scalp missiles to carry out the large-scale destruction. In Noor Khan, a Pakistan Air Force base has also been struck. There you see clearly at least two areas which have been, these are not just the hangars, but some other installations at the Chakala Air Base that has been targeted. Sargodha, this is the runway that you can clearly see has sustained massive damages. There is also a reflection of the fact that they haven't been able to completely reconstruct. Now, this in Jacobabad is where we are given to understand that F-16 aircraft, which was undergoing maintenance, has also been partially damaged. Multiple digital evidence that has been gathered basically indicates that at least 2 such fighter jets have been destroyed here at Jacobabad, and these are pictures that have now been accessed by Republic TV. Sukur Airbase, this is where the UAV hub has been struck. That's the UAV hangar, the radar site that you can see on your screens right now. These are the images that we have. In fact, the F-16 as well as what was basically struck, reports clearly indicate that India's Rafale fighters, S-400 missile systems, M777 howitzers had basically acquitted themselves as well during the 4-day conflict. Now, on your screens, these are latest images that we have of the Rahim Yar Khan, Pakistan's Air Force base. This is the runway as well as the UAV hub that has been destroyed. Let me also take you through some more breaking news now coming in. The LAT headquarters was actually hit by the Crystal Maze missiles that were basically used. Jaish camps were hit by 6 Scalp missiles, and I'm going to show in a short while from now, using these very infrastructure that we have had, the kind of damage that was inflicted. It's dealt a significant blow to the terror infrastructure in Pakistan. Lashkar-e-Toiba headquarters was successfully targeted and destroyed using advanced crystal-based missiles, while 6 Scalp missiles were deployed to strike Jaish-e-Mohammed camps, inflicting heavy damage. Additionally, the 777 howitzers played a pivotal role in dismantling Tier 2 defenses of the Pakistani army, marking a significant escalation by the Indian Air Force. In fact, I'm now going to take you through some of the stunning images that have been accessed by Republic TV. In fact, there are 23 set of images that we have, of which at least 10 of them that we have put together. Now, I'm going to take you through the multiple strikes that have actually taken place at Bahawalpur. That's the Jaish headquarters. As you can see, these are the 4 strikes that have essentially taken place. Now, we've also got details of the missile, the nature of the missiles that was used. As you can see, the multiple DMPIs that has been reflected here clearly goes on to indicate how it has the damages that have been seen in Bahawalpur. This is the clear before and after image. Now, this is where, as you can see, the infrastructure clearly being destroyed here, dismantled here. Let's move on. As far as the Jaish headquarters are concerned, now, once again, these are additional images that goes on to indicate that these are the 2 areas where the strikes have actually taken place. And clearly, you can see the images where it shows a hole there, the strikes, the precision strikes that have been carried out. This is the Bahawalpur Jaish-e-Mohammed camp. Now, here, this is, again, a publicly available image, but this is the image that has come in from the Indian Air Force with regards to before and after. As you can see, the camp has the kind of damage that has taken place with those Scalp missiles that have been used. Here, you can see the damage that has been inflicted upon. Let's move on. This is the post images of the strike itself, which take a look at this hole that has been created here, and that's the image of the Scalp missiles that have been used. Let's also move on to the others. In Muridke, this is the thermal imaging that has been accessed. Now, this on your screens right now shows the targeted strike that was carried out. This is the Lashkar-e-Toiba headquarters. Let's move on with the other images that we have here. Once again, these are the 2 set of images that you have. Clearly shows the before. This is the before area of the 2 areas that have been struck at Muridke, and this, what you see, is the impact of the damage here. That's the impact of the damage that is actually shown in these 2 set of pictures that we have got right now. Once again, these are set of images, human intelligence images that have been picked up by the Air Force as well as the armed forces. Now, this is part of the radar systems. This is in Chunyan. As you can see, this is the burnt mark. This is the radar head that has been destroyed after the attack. This is in Chunyan Air Base. Let's move on. Now, the other image that we have, that's for the other radar systems that have been attacked. These are identified and which have been tracked. Now, these are images that have come in from the AWAC system. Now, the AWAC system, remember, it's the early detection system that was carried out. Now, that was struck by the Indian Air Force. Now, that cripples that entire possibility of the Pakistanis to try and retaliate. And that's exactly what has happened here with the aircraft hangar here that has been attacked. Now, this is in Bholari. Let's move on. This is in Chakala, where you can see clearly the kind of damage that has been inflicted upon. This is the two areas inside Chakala which has attacked. This is the before and after images. Let's take you through the other images coming in. This is in Sargodha. This is the runway. As you can see, this runway hasn't been reconstructed even today. That's the information that we have. And this is in Jacobabad. Now, in Jacobabad, this is the F-16s, where the F-16s are basically used by the Pakistanis. And we are given to understand that at least 2 of the fighter jets, F-16s, have been partially damaged in the attack that has taken place in Jacobabad.